This video is now in session, and this is a pragmatist view of cancel culture. Cancel culture must be canceled. The thing with cancel culture is that at the very core of it, it really doesn't make sense why we do it. It's because look, we are a functioning society, and if we kind of boil this down into just 10 people in one society, and if someone does something wrong, do they banish them? Do they exclude them from their society? They could do that, but that doesn't really help at all with improving them, because if we're looking at misconduct, if we're looking at sexual harassment, and as well as other kinds of nefarious things, canceling them may remove that problem from their society, but it's not going to help the person who is doing it at all, because ultimately people need people who commit misconduct have to be taught why the thing that they're doing is a misconduct and why they should not be doing it. Because if they don't teach that, if society doesn't teach that, then the same people who have committed atrocities or nefarious acts are most likely going to repeat it again when they have the chance to do it. And essentially saying that, oh, we're going to cancel you and you're no longer going to be part of our 10-person society anymore. That's not going to help improve their thoughts, and it's also not going to help realize why they are wrong, why the person who is being canceled should not be doing what they were doing. So instead of cancel culture, what instead needs to occur is teachings. It's about correcting people's mistakes so that they are better stewards to their society. But canceling them does nothing, especially when you cancel a company over one person. And this is where Goya comes in. Goya, the CEO of Goya, supported Trump, and then as a result, a lot of people started canceling Goya, the company, and not the CEO. And that's an even bigger problem, because now you have people who work for Goya, the thousands of employees working for them who have nothing really to do with Goya, the CEO of Goya's political views. Now they're being threatened by cancel culture. Now they're being threatened because the same people that they support are now indirectly canceling them over a person that they have no relations with. So that is even more ridiculous, but it's something we continue to do as society. It's something we've done for ages at this point, ever since the founding of America. Even before the American Revolution, we saw examples of cancel culture. We saw in Massachusetts, where Roger Williams advocated for more religious freedom in the Puritan society and got exiled for that. So he had to escape, and he escaped and then went over to what is now Rhode Island to start a new colony. But you can see here that in that example, that is the first of many examples of cancel culture occurring in the United States, and it's a thing that's been going on for a very long time. But it doesn't help, though, because Roger Williams, ultimately his views never changed. The Puritans, their views never changed, and ultimately cancel culture just separates people apart. And when you separate people apart, that means you're less likely to get political discourse. So, for example, if I cancel a Democrat for what they say, then that means I don't talk to them anymore. I don't associate with them anymore, and that our relationship has been severed. But for example, if I'm a Republican and they are a Democrat, then I no longer have a voice for that contradicts my values. I no longer have a person saying that, well, here's another perspective on this issue, because I've canceled them. And when you cancel the other side, and when you stop listening to the other side, then that becomes harmful to our democracy, because a democracy relies on two parties that are willing to go with each other and to create a level of compromise to get stuff done. That is what a democracy should be. It's a system of multiple parties that come together and create legislation. But if you cancel people of different political ideologies, then at that point, you don't have another perspective to go off of, and then you start to wonder why certain people think the way they do. And the reason why you wonder that is because you don't have any friends that belong to to ideologies that differ from yours. And that's the problem with today's America, which is that we're increasingly being divided since we're less and less, we're talking to each other less and less. We're talking to the other side less and less. You can see this in all parts of life, including religion, including socioeconomic backgrounds, your workplace, for example. It also includes geography. If we look at where Republicans and Democrats are, they're in completely different places. Most Democrats are in urban places. Most Republicans are in rural places. The only mix where you see the two are in suburbia. It's in suburban areas, and that's why you see moderate representatives and moderate senators who get progress done are usually from the suburbs, usually from districts that are part of the suburbs. And that is because when you have when you have different views, when you don't have just like a uniformed view on society, then you start to recognize the other side and start to work with them in order to get stuff done. But if you continue to kind of isolate yourself from them, from the other side, and if you continue to cancel them, then that's not going to help. If you cancel Goya's CEO, that harms not only that doesn't help kind of get to a discussion about why Goya's CEO thinks that way, but it also but in addition, it also kind of tampers with the livelihoods of people who work for Goya, who have no political interest at all. So, do they deserve to be canceled? No, but our society unfortunately has a pattern of cancel culture, and at this point it applies to both parties, because we see Democrats canceling Goya, and as well as other individuals, other companies for their political views. And then we see Republicans cancel companies like Coca-Cola for their views. Companies like tire. There was like a tire brand in Ohio that got canceled, or it might have been Michelin. But ultimately, at this point, both parties are canceling each other, and they're canceling their own people. And it's just a sign of ignorancy in the United States. It's ridiculous, but unfortunately we keep doing it, and that's going to be worse. And we're doing it more often now, especially with social media being so prominent in society. And at this point, we're going to have more people canceled, and that really will not help. That doesn't help at all with improving people's lives, and as well as kind of hearing other opinions. So that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. This video is now adjourned, and I'll see you in the next one.